Last December, one of my friends saw a Chappell Roan poster on my wall and was like, "Oh, I hate her." And I was like, "Oh, is that because of what she said on Call Her Daddy when she was like, no one should look at me for political advice and it's so hard to stay educated as a pop star?" And she like failed to ignore all the privilege that she has and also like the way that she's literally built her entire career off of like political themes and queer identity, which is very political. And my friend looked back at me blankly and was like, "No, she's just kind of annoying." It's very true that the worst thing a woman can be in this world is a little bit mean, and the worst thing that a man can be is, I don't know. I mean, America's president is a felon. Kanye West is still selling out shows. Chris Brown was nominated for a Grammy just last year, and Chappell Roan, she's getting banned from entire countries. I know you've already seen the discourse, and I know I'm quite late to this also. That's because I posted this as a Substack essay first, but I'm still turning it into a YouTube video. You should follow my Substack if you want to read instead of watch this. But like I said, I know you've seen the discourse. I know you've probably seen a bunch of essays on it, but I doubt you actually know what happened. So let's do a quick recap of the situation in case you don't. So, first, Italian Brazilian soccer player, I'm going to butcher this name, Jorginho Frello, posted a celebrity encounter that his daughter had to his Instagram story. According to him, his stepdaughter and her mother were staying at the same hotel as Chappell Roan for Lollapalooza, Brazil, and the 11-year-old girl was a big fan of her. When she saw Chappell at breakfast, she looked over and smiled at her, and then, according to Frello, the singer sent over one of her security guards to tell off the kid, which eventually led to her upset and crying. His post was then reposted by the mayor of Rio de Janeiro, who said Chappell Roan was like not welcome, and then he also like said she couldn't play at a bunch of shows even though she wasn't playing at them anyway, but whatever. Chappell then posted a video the next day when she stated it wasn't her security guard and she didn't even see the mother and the daughter there, but she apologized to them for the fact that someone did that and made them cry and made them feel unwelcome. Sorry, my bangs are really, really not behaving today. I might have to put them in timeout, so I have these on standby. Frello's story was later corroborated by the kid's mother, who was actually present at the scene. In response to Chappell's statement, she stated that she knew it wasn't hotel security and the guard, quote, manages artists. So she didn't actually 100% know it was Chappell's security, but she kind of assumed. And then the story essentially concluded when the guard himself came out and said he was not on Chappell's team and affiliated with her at all. I wrote the script before Frello posted his apology, so he did post an apology where he said that it wasn't Chappell and he felt really bad for all the fallout. People have picked that apart for not really acknowledging the outrage and the harm that was caused to Chappell because of this. We're not going to get into that because this story is more about the outrage that followed directly after. So the story's over and Chappell's name is clear, right? To a certain extent, yes, but the outrage that occurred between the soccer player posting the original post and between the security guard saying that it wasn't Chappell and confirming it was so extreme and so intense that I, like the creators of the dozens of video essays and podcasts you've already consumed about this, think we should continue talking about it. It's worth noting before we consider anything deeper that even if the original story that the soccer player had posted to his story was true, Chappell Roan did not make that little girl cry. Even in both the parents' version of events, the security guard was the one evoking tears from the daughter. Even if he was on Chappell Roan's team, that puts responsibility on her. But how would we know what Chappell said to him? I digress because that's not even the case. It's just worth thinking about how quickly the internet was ecstatic to blame a woman for the direct action of a man, as Kat Tenbarge said on a Bit Fruities episode, The Campaign to Crush Chappell Roan. Great episode, by the way. Definitely should listen to it. A lot of like the kind of concepts that I'm going to be talking about were inspired by that episode and like they connected a lot of things. So definitely go watch that podcast. To make it clear, I am not the biggest fan of Chappell. Everything I said in the intro about my feelings on her politics is true. I love her music, but I do find some of her behavior off-putting, but specifically in relation to politics and feminism, my bangs are really pissing me off. I feel like I definitely look better with my bangs down, but I really just can't be bothered to touch them every 5 seconds, so we're just gonna leave it like this, and I'm sorry for the forehead. Like I said, I dislike the way that she voiced her political opinions during the election, sparking tons of discourse, and then said on Call Her Daddy that no one should look to her for political advice, and implied that it was impossible to stay educated on politics while being a pop star, discounting the fact that as a pop star, she has immensely more privilege and resources than the everyday person who also has to stay current on politics because it literally impacts their daily life. For more information on this specific topic, I'd recommend this video by Lonnie's Lens. I don't agree with all the points that she brought up in her video, but she does a great job voicing my frustration with Chappell. My point with this is that even though I don't love Chappell, I can have my own issues with her while also acknowledging that the points that she's raised about paparazzi, privacy, and safety are valid concerns, and we shouldn't just dismiss those as celebrity complaining. Instead of blindly accepting the narratives that are fed to us on social media, the narrative that Chappell Roan is a bitchy, ungrateful woman who got famous overnight and let it go to her head, We should think critically about the situation and evaluate it against our own values and opinions. This is all without even mentioning that the brunt of the hatred was fueled before the truth about the situation even came out. After the father of the child made the post, a man who wasn't even present for the situation, the internet was quick to react based on the testimony of a man before and after Chappell spoke out about her side of the story. When the mother of the child corroborated the story, people decided it was a fact and ran with the narrative. Am I saying that we should never react to a story until every single person involved has put out a press release? Well, no, of course not. I'm just saying that we need to learn how to analyze the situation and consider biases before coming to a rage-filled conclusion. Because on the internet, stories and situations can be manipulated to no end. We saw this with Amber Heard, we saw it with Blake Lively, and we'll see it again with some other female celebrity soon. A recent report estimated that nearly 1/4 of the discourse about this incident, the Chappell Roan incident, was incited by bot activity, aka not real users. By the way, if you're thinking, oh, but Amber Heard is a abuser and Blake Lively is a bitch and super annoying, you should, again, check out these podcasts. A Brit Fruity, just a great podcast overall, but they have done wonders for the way that I think about smear campaigns of women and unlearning a lot of that misogyny that I've been fed online, and I would highly recommend you check out these episodes because there's a lot to these stories that I can't get into and I don't really know that much about off the top of my head, but watch them. During this incident, I remember seeing a TikTok where the caption had said, "For people saying Chappell would never make a kid cry, do we not remember this video of her?" And it was over a video of Chappell yelling at and shutting down paparazzi. There's a lot of those videos on the internet. This video, tons of people seem to agree with. Tons of people were commenting like, yeah, this is how Chappell is. Like, this is what she does. We've always known she was like this. Like, why wouldn't she make a kid cry? This was insane to me. To insinuate that because a woman rightfully reacted loudly and angrily to her privacy being violated and her personal space being invaded, she would also sick her security on a young child and make her cry. Do we not understand the nuance in these situations? It is so insane to conflate these two instances and act like the security guard videos were a sign or an omen of Chappell making children cry. That post that I'm talking about and this ideology just proves that some people don't really understand the purpose and reason behind Chappell's anger. She wasn't doing it to be a bitch. She wasn't doing it to go viral. She wasn't doing it to cause a media storm. She did it because she genuinely felt like her body and her space were not being respected, and she did not deserve to be treated with such degrading words and tones. If we can understand this underlying feeling behind the way Chappell treats paparazzi, why would she ever yell at a young child? Even if internally she was irritated or tired, she has no reason to be angry at the child. The child, unlike the paparazzi, didn't yell at her to smile or follow her around and shove a camera into her space. By the parent's own account, the child just barely passed by Chappell before she allegedly sent a security guard over to terrorize the kid. That doesn't even make sense. Even if Chappell was a crazy person who hated her fans, the child didn't even say anything. The child didn't even say anything to her, so how would Chappell even know that the girl was one of her supposedly despised fans? Obviously, I'm not saying we should blindly trust celebrities or anyone and always think the best of them. I don't know Chappell Roan. Maybe she does hate her fans. I don't really know. But based on what she has shown me, I don't, that's not in alignment with her character, right? Like, the fact that she has been angry at paparazzi does not automatically mean that she's going to be angry at every single person she meets. And if you think that, that means you don't understand the actual qualms that she has with the industry and with paparazzi and with her privacy being in danger. I am just saying that if we consider the situation for more than a minute, things don't start to make sense. For the originally presented narrative to work, and for you to believe it with basically no proof, I might add, you would have to think of Chappell as literally a cartoon supervillain. This woman sees a kid walking by her, gets enraged for no reason, and calls over her security to ruin the child's morning. Sure, why not? To me, the core issue here goes back to something that I think we can find at the center of almost every socio-political issue that we have in our society now: the death of nuance. People who already dislike Chappell Roan for whatever reason, some valid, others likely rooted in misogyny and or homophobia, automatically assume the worst of her and believe any negative story they hear about her without taking 1 second to critically think about it. Breaking news: you can dislike someone or find them annoying while still using nuance and context to evaluate the stories that you hear about them. For example, do I love Blake Lively as a person? No, not really. Will I always believe the case of a woman who says that she was harassed, particularly when tons of women and people on the movie set also felt the same way about the male cast member she's talking about? Of course I will, because I'm a feminist, and feminism is not just about supporting nice, likable, agreeable women. Feminism is about fighting systems of power, and those systems can still affect mean, bitchy, loud, annoying women, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we're not projecting our misogyny or whatever it is onto those women. That was it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I tried to not just be spouting the same kind of things people say. Obviously a lot of people have talked about the situation, and most people on my kind of corner of the internet have the same idea that Chappell did not deserve the hate for this and that it was super unjust and all of this. But I just kind of wanted to have a different angle or talk about something different. So I kind of chose to focus on like the nuance of this conversation and the like believing woman aspect about it. I just kind of hope that my lens was a little bit different. So you got something new out of this video, or maybe you didn't. I don't really know. I just kind of want to talk about the situation. This video was on the shorter side, mostly because this was about like just kind of one situation and I didn't really connect it to that many other things. I know I haven't posted in a while. It's school. YouTube takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, honestly, and I just haven't been doing the best for the past few weeks. Things are getting better, so hopefully I will be able to post more consistently, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy. If you guys enjoy this video, please subscribe. I am spiritually on my knees begging you to please subscribe to my channel. It really, really helps. I never really realized how hard it is to get a subscriber on YouTube before I started YouTube. It's so easy to get followers on Instagram and TikTok by comparison, because like you really have to like someone's channel to subscribe. So if you really like this video or any of my other videos, please subscribe. It would mean the world. And follow my Instagram. I'm trying to post like basically little like kind of trailers for my YouTube videos on my Instagram. So if you want to keep up to date with like what kind of videos I'm going to be posting and stuff, it's all in there. I'm also writing a book, which I talk about a little bit on there. And you should also subscribe to my Substack if you're on Substack, if you're into that sort of thing, because I post the full like script of this with like sources and notes and everything. So essentially just follow my everything, and it would be really great because it really helps me out, and it would really, thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and be sure to go combat some online misogyny today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!